wasn't reviewed from a logic and reason standpoint. It wasn't financially reviewed. And I don't think there's anyone on this board that can tell the financial difference between the two. And that's an issue, especially when the district's so broke. And also you have a 10-year discussion. We as a board should have went to these providers and recognized that you're truncating, you're selling your students to these two individuals or access to your students, right? For years. You're blocking future boards. These are all moral and recognizable problems associated with this motion right here. And because you're doing it that way, I mean, I don't know. I don't see how you guys are able to ramrod this through, especially with a violation of the Sunshine Act, because they should have a reasonable opportunity to comment. I don't think it was reasonable.
This item, in my opinion, this is 3 months in. Mr. Bradley, you had your time. Can I have mine? In my opinion, this is 3 months in the making. We've had the demonstrate. We've had the PowerPoints. We've had the information. We even have on each of them 3, 5, and 10-year deal. Actually, one other one has provided a 7-year deal. Our choice at this point is to go with the provider and then decide when, at a later date, what the terms would be. It's as simple as that. You make your decision on which provider you think is the better provider, and the rest can make their decision.
But I don't think they had a conversation about the different proposals. And here you're going to go down the same path that Rita goes down and Wayne went down, that you didn't look at it, right? So for instance, what is the financial difference between the two?
Keep your comments to yourself.
I know it's comments to the public.
Drag down other members.
Public comment. So what is the financial to the district between the two?
Larry, can we just move on? No, we're up to.
You can't just move on and shove it through. Wayne, you got to actually have a
There
conversation.
are 3-year numbers, there are 5-year numbers, and there are 10-year numbers.
Can I
Mr. Bradley, you have them because they're in the enclosures, number 23.
I know. I'll repeat the concept. Let's let the public speak for just 30 seconds or a minute or
no,
5
we're not.
minutes.
No.
You're going to block them, sir? Come on.
No.
Let them speak.
Yes.
Let them speak. I want to hear Brian Shaner speak. He's got his hand raised, right? For instance, I'll give you a thing, right? There's a $720,000 value, right? There's values on both of these programs for staff members to have access to gyms, right? And they multiplied it out over a 10-year period, assuming all 240 staff members go to all the benefit. No one did the real math of what actually is taking place. And our administration has a responsibility to take these questions, which we asked, and do an evaluation. The fact that you're putting these people underneath an umbrella for up to 10 years, selling access to their students, your students, right? Because they're paying us for this access, and it's wrong.
This is the same innuendo you made 3 months ago.
It's not an innuendo, though. See, that's the difference. Is normal people would have listened to the facts
and our staff
and
to protect them and to make them healthier.
Yeah, I know. And that's great, Larry. And I appreciate that.
That's
They both
great.
will do that.
That's great.
They
Dave.
both
Thanks
will do
for the
that,
comment.
Larry. They both
Tired
do
of
that.
your sarcasm.
Can we
sir.
please
I know you
move,
do.
Mr.
But the
Stern?
point is that you have a responsibility to the public, sir. You have a responsibility.
I do have a responsibility to make the choice that I feel is the best for our public. Yes.
Yeah, good. I'll watch, right? But here's the goofy part.
Thank you. You can watch.
Yeah, I know, sir. But the goofy part is, did you do the work? Did you allow your administration to do the work? Did you ask them if...
Mr. Stern,
I'll use a
again,
perfect
we need
example
to
before I
move
get muted out by
forward
Mr.
with-
Cleveland.
No, wait a minute. I want to refute that one because number one, if I'd say to Mr. Bradley, oh, I asked the administration and they told me what they should do, what we should do.
Then you're rubber
that's
stamping
not
what
what
they should
do.
do.
Oh, no, I looked at the document. I'm making my own decision. Well, why don't you ask the administration? Nothing can make you happy, sir.
Yes, it is.
You
Here,
vote the way
I'll
you
explain
want
it.
to, and that's the way it should go.
I'll try it. Here we go. Let's pretend I'm the boss, right? It's going to be fun. So, hey, we have a motion on the table.
That'd be amazing.
I have a motion on the floor. If there's no other
This is not time for folks. We need to move forward.
I will move on to roll call vote for this particular item. If you are in support of Lehigh Valley Health Network, you say Lehigh Valley Health Network.
I know,
If you're
but
in
prior
support of St. Luke's, you say St. Luke's. Thank you very much.
It doesn't help, Larry. prior to making this decision, you should have polled your board and your public. What information would you like evaluated?
You can't poll the board for what they think you should do.
No,
that is a Sunshine Act violation.
No, not poll the board for that, you guys.
You said poll the board. Excuse me.
Yeah, let me finish my sentence, Larry. You get so anxious.
Oh, I unfortunately don't want you to finish your sentence.
Okay, no, don't mute me. Here you go. Poll the board for the information that they would. Guys, come on, stop talking over me. Let me have a sentence. Ready?
Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. But go ahead, Wayne. Start using the F word. So again, here you go, guys.
Again, Mr. Stern, I am having difficult following this meeting the way it is being run. So I apologize if anything is, but it is very difficult to try and run this meeting the way Mr. Bradley is behaving. I'm sorry, but it is difficult, and I'm apologizing ahead of time in the event I miss anybody or anything happens, because this becomes very difficult to try and run a cordial and respectful meeting with him. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr.
So why don't you let me speak and fake my sentence, sir? Larry, be quiet. Larry,
I know he's going to step on.
Larry, be quiet for a second.
Bradley, I've heard your complaints.
No, you didn't hear it. You didn't hear it. It's not fair. So let's try it. I'll be very calm and I'll tell you. Ready?
Why don't you be very brief?
The way a board should work is that you ask the board, poll them for the questions that they would have so that they could get the information needed to make an informed decision. Dear Mr. Stern, what information would you need from this conversation or contract prior to its release? Dear Ms. Spinelli, what information would you need? Let's collect and pull from them the questions that they should ask, and then have them addressed and answered prior to an agenda. This is what we tried to do for the last 2 months. We wanted clarification.
Mr. Bradley, I can tell you that
Why did you just cut me off? That's why he's having so much trouble here. Rita, that's why we're having so much trouble. You're cutting someone off. That's what we were trying to do. And that is logical, and that's how a professional board works. If you did that, you would not have all this consternation. If you did that, you would have tons of information prior to a decision. If you did that, you would not be in violation of the Sunshine Act. You'd let the people have their questions, and you'd have them answered prior to a decision. It's a reasonable opportunity, Mr. Filer. I don't believe this is very reasonable, because even Larry just said it could be a 1, it could be a 5. It's wrong. You're not doing the job of a board. Thank you. Now go ahead, Rita. You can rant all you want.
I'd actually like to state that this motion was brought up previously, and I've, along with others, voted to table it so that we would have the opportunity to get more information. My questions have been answered. More information was provided. If we asked our administration to poll the board for the questions that they would want to have answered for every motion that's placed in front of us, we would never get anything done. I'd like to move forward with a vote.
Absolutely not. Actually, that's the way a board's supposed to work. It's very simple, and that's how you do it. And all my questions were not answered. So why do we have a one-sided board, Mr. Fowler? Is that moral? Is that ethical? Is that responsible? You got your questions answered. Why wouldn't mine be any less or more important? Right? Because when you did a financial evaluation of these two, it's convoluted. It would be almost impossible. You had to go back to these two individual vendors as if it was a bid and ask them questions and have them respond. And you guys didn't do that no matter how many times we tried. That's why we tabled it. And then yet you blocked it. And here you are rubber stamping and shoving it through. This was on the board. You guys were shoving this through before we even brought it up. You were trying to do these things. It's wrong. It's unethical. It's immoral. It's not how a Christian business would work.
Okay, roll call vote, Mrs. Wagner.
Okay. Ms. Joy Beers?
No.
You gotta say one or the other.
So
there's two choices.
No. She can say no. It's to award the contract. The answer is no. Don't award a contract. Get the information. That's a perfectly acceptable answer to say no. Don't award a contract. Right? You don't have the information.
Mr. Stern, Mr. Bradley is not in charge of this meeting. Can we please move forward as you as board president?
I have it as a no.
You, Cleaver.
Mr. Richard Belts?
No.
Mr. David Bradley?
No, this should not be done.
Mr. Nathan Fuller?
St. Luke's.
Mr. Stephen Holland?
I would like to vote for Lehigh Valley Health Network. May I also add that I've worked with these people, the trainers, while I still work for the school district, and they're two excellent trainers, and they know our students. Thank you.
Mrs. Gail Mahalik?
Lehigh Valley.
Mrs. Rita Spinelli,
St. Luke's.
Mr. Wayne Wentz,
Again, what Stevie said, Lehigh Valley for me.
Mr. Larry Stern,
Lehigh Valley.
so I have 4 for Lehigh Valley, 2 for St. Luke's, and 3 no's. So is that?
It's all there. We are not spending money on this contract. It is all coming back to the district. It's not that we're putting out money. On to old business. I think we discussed old business at the beginning of this meeting, Mr. Filer.